Gordon, have you heard of the Apple of the PC world?
What's that?
AKA Razer. Right here we got the Razer Blade 15.
Are you saying there's
off the presses.
a company that makes something out of beautiful billeted and machined aluminum?
It's pronounced aluminium.
Aluminium, and that's cool
Pronounced
Apple-like?
Yes,
on
it
the
is
PC
cool
side?
Apple-like. This is the new one, right?
Right.
We have the old 13-inch Blade Stealth.
Great laptop. Kaby
yeah.
Lake R, quad-core, hyper-threading. Beautiful laptop.
I actually tried to produce videos on this at E3. Unfortunately, no integrated graphics was kind of my downfall. But this guy has got integrated graphics. We're not sure of the specs yet, but let's open it up and.
You know, I never get to unbox these. Hayden gets to unbox all of these.
Welcome to the
Welcome to the cult of Razer. Okay.
That sounds like a very Apple thing,
Let me
right?
get out of here. See, now this is very.
Oh, fancy.
This is very like another company. That is pretty nice. Look, you get your rubber strap for your cables, braided.
Yep.
Is a fixed power cable, I think,
Braided
though.
power
So fixed
cable.
power cable.
I mean, why would you not want a braided power cable?
And of course, this is
The next best thing is an RGB power brick.
you know, and I gotta say, this this is I mean, we can get into comparisons later, but this, folks, tells you everything you want to know about the laptop. This is a 230 watt power brick. So
That's power.
that's a lot of power,
Playing
and
with
that's
power.
because you want to do that.
No, go for it. Go for it.
All right, we're gonna pull this out.
It's teamwork. Teamwork makes a dream
There we
work.
go.
It's up there. Ooh, I you know what? I kind of like when you put it down, the glow of the green on the white table. Like it's almost like it's illuminated a little bit, right?
Yeah, that is like
That is
that's a nice touch. If you're into the packaging, and there are people who are into the packaging.
Hey, I like packaging. I like a good package design.
Ready to do it? All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna open this up.
Do it. Oh.
Hmm.
And you got that neon green logo, of
Neon
course.
green lights up. The big dip. Let's hope I don't drop this. Where's the thingamabob?
No pull tab, I guess, on the
pull
Razer.
tab on the Razer.
You're not
but
supposed to take it out. You're just supposed to admire it. Of course, in the
get it?
bottom you got documentation,
Instructions, warranty.
stickers. You get your Razer stickers.
2 Type A's. The Razer power dedicated power port, not USB PD. It's 230 watts, and I get that. Mini display port, full size HDMI, another USB Type A. I'm gonna guess it's 5 gig. Could be 10
Well,
gig.
they like to make theirs green rather than blue.
Okay, and then actually this is a Kensington lock port, not the Noble lock port that Dell uses, and a USB Type C. But inside this, I'm interested to see what's in
yeah.
here.
Where do we see the specs? Here we go. Nope, it's not
Well,
there.
we know what's in here because it doesn't. They don't offer a Core i9 version. They do offer a Coffee Lake Core i7 8750 version.
8750H.
Great CPU, 6 cores, hyper threading, really pushes those clocks up. But this is a Razer. It's made for gamers.
Yeah, I can't tell the video card, so it's either a
It's 1060 or 1070.
Yeah. So they did change the design a little bit, and
Yeah.
you can tell if you compare it to the Stealth. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it
So
kind
the
of,
Stealth has a sort of older Mac look. In fact, with
Yeah.
all the curves.
Yep.
The bezel is honestly, for its vintage, pretty massive. But this, you have your XPS 15
You got your
zero
slim
bezel kind of a style.
You still have the webcam up top, but still that top bezel is not bad. That top
Yeah.
bezel is not bad.
The webcam is spectacularly small, but I mean, who really cares? They cover it up anyway. I gotta say, I like this keyboard. I've loved Razer keyboards. The lighting is just beautiful on these Razer keyboards.
So it looks like
it's just so intense. It's really hard to get. They are just. It feels like half your power budget is going to the keyboard. Let's find out what's in here, though.
and look the bar. You can touch it, but it's not necessarily going to do anything.
Okay.
You know, you actually
Wow.
have function keys. What do we
Holy
got?
smokes, this thing's cooking. It is a 1070. So you got a 1070, GTX 1070 in here, a Core i7. Let's find out. What is it?
I think it's a
8750 probably? So yeah, so 8750H, 22
nice.
base. These CPUs, if properly cooled, will push 4 gigahertz all day for the most part.
Woo-wee.
And the panel is a 1080p. So we have a 1080p panel.
They do
with
have a 4K option. And yeah, no touch.
But here's what you want to know, though, is how does it compare in physical? I'm going to hide these other things because we are going to be doing some quick testing later to see how they do. This is the brand new XPS 15 9570. It also has the same CPU, the Core i7 8750H 8th Gen Core i7.
But a 1050 Ti.
But a 1050 Ti Max Q. That is nowhere near the same ballpark as a 1070 Max Q. 1070 Max Q is a great GPU when it's properly cooled.
You know, you do have a smaller bezels, but then that's because you get the chin cam over here. But other than that, I mean, those bezels aren't too far off.
Yeah, look at that.
Right?
You want to get a shot here? That's close. It's very close.
That's pretty good bezels.
And then I'm amazed. Look at the body here. Same thickness.
It's pronounced aluminium.
Aluminium.
Oh yeah, that is just about the same.
So you see the harder angles on this Razer. Previously it was more curved, harder angles. The speakers I think have been relocated. The power button, and the bezels. And the other thing is they're able to. Razer says they're able to run a 1070 Max Q in this laptop because they use a gigantic vapor chamber. If you go back and look at our original video, it's like a giant slug of copper. They have a great big vapor chamber. This uses a traditional heat pipe. The other, of course, natural competitor to this is the MacBook Pro 15. This is the brand new MacBook Pro 15.
Oh, wait, isn't this the one that's hot? Don't burn your hands, man.
Yeah, I don't want to actually. The edges will actually cut you. But again, you can see Apple really went for thinness on the body. Look.
I mean, but you feel those in the keys.
You feel it in the keys. You give it up. You may get thinness, but the keys are, I gotta say, not great. And there's a lot of internal compromises. I mean, look at the stack up here. This is an 8th Gen 6-core with a 1050 Ti Max Q. This is a 6-core Core i7 with a 1070 GTX 1070 Max Q. And this is a Core i9, sorta, with a Radeon last generation 555X. It's a pretty old Polaris part. It's not going to hold a candle to that 1050 Ti, and this 1070 will just destroy it in anything GPU or gaming related. You know, I know people say, well, Radeons are great for compute, but yeah, but they are good for compute. But I got to say, I'm not sure they're going to, even the compute on the Radeon 555X, I don't think it's going to be faster than a 1070 Max Q.
Also, you're not going to be gaming on this.
And you're not going to be gaming.
You're not going to be gaming on this. This is a Mac. But check this out. This is the last piece of the pie. I've been using the Razer phone. It just fits so nicely within that family, right?
You're right. Let's get this thing out of the way.
Get that aluminium design. You know, it just fits right in.
You really, yeah. You know, you gotta
it's
say
the whole family.
that whole lifestyle. I can see it. You know, when they say cult of Razer, you could honestly see, yeah, I want my Razer phone and Razer laptop.
You got your Razer headphones, you got your Razer mouse.
There's like a company that kind of does that already, kind of pushing that lifestyle.
Almost like a cult. Yeah, it's weird.
But this is cool. I mean, the black is cool. The hard edges are cool. The ID kind of like matches up. It's all the harder edges.
So here's the big thing for me. Not only does it have a design, and I understand that not everyone's going to love the design. It is a Razer design, so you know some people might think it's a little gaudy or
on the phone,
or both. The whole Razer aesthetic.
I like
but the thing is that you still get a pretty good design, but you get power. Because that's the problem with this. You got all design and you're losing out on power. Like this, I think you're getting both. You know, even with the Dell, you get a lot of power. The Dell design, I mean, it's pretty. They've made strides, but I mean, it still doesn't.
This is a different look. Definitely a different look.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, if I was going to try to find a sweet spot between power and design, I do appreciate what Razer's doing.
But you know, it's thinner.
You're right. I can't. You got me there.
But what I don't get is if you're somebody who goes, yeah, it's thinner, that's great. I need that project 2 hours ago. I'm still rendering that out, boss.
So, yeah, sorry, my laptop overheated.
I don't get it.
I just stick it in the freezer to get those render times down. So yeah, we're gonna do some testing on this this new Razer.
Yeah, let's see. These are both Core i7s, but I'm interested to see how it does against the Apple, even though it has the Core i9 in it. Let's look at the bottom. because the bottom does matter to some people.
You get some obvious venting. This looks like exhaust, probably, right? I think they all exhaust from the hinge, right?
Oh, actually, a lot of the thickness I forgot. So a lot of thickness on
Oh yeah, it's from the
on the
standoff.
razor blade.
Oh, even this too. Even,
Yeah. So of course, a lot of people say, "Well, why'd you put such big feet on it, Razor?" Remember, this is a 1070 Max Q and a 6-core CPU. You do not want to get this thing down and have the vents blocked while you're using it. You do not want to do that. So I perfectly understand why Razor put the large feet on there. I'll grab a caliper out, but I kind of wonder if you turn it over, maybe we get a better feel for how they actually are in thickness.
I mean, the MacBook's still thinner.
It's still thinner, but this is 1070 Max Q. This is a Polaris 555X mobile part. So this is a 1070. The Dell, definitely thicker, right? Even with that one,
Yeah. So why don't we cut for a minute and we'll come back and do some benchmarks
let's
on
see which one's
Cinebench.
faster.
Yeah.
Cinebench, we'll do. That's
Cool.
quick. It's easy. We'll be right back. Hey, so we're back. We just finished running a couple quick benchmarks on
Real
the
quick.
brand new Razer Blade.
Razer Blade 15.
15 Razer Blade 15 has 6-core Core i7 in there and a GTX 1070 Max Q.
But we forgot to mention that this model has the 144 hertz refresh rate panel.
Yeah, so that's
Which
nice.
is
Not a
better.
higher res, but I think
Yeah.
I'd almost rather have 144. It is just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you're not gaming, it just smooths
feel it.
everything out.
You should feel
But so we're gonna put this Razer Blade 15 up against the brand new Dell XPS 159570. Also, same CPU, Core i7, but GeForce GTX 1050 Ti Max Q, and also the brand new MacBook Pro 15 with a Core i9 8950HK. And I was wrong. I said it was a Radeon Pro 555F. It's actually a Radeon Pro 560X.
Yeah,
So
come on.
It's 5 better.
Give it its due.
Five
Come
better.
on.
5 better.
So what are the results, man? What's the takeaway? This is just a quick test.
Quick test.
You know.
The quick test is, no kidding, both of these are Core i7 laptops, and this is the problem with thin designs like the MacBook Pro. Every bit as fast. This slightly slower, and I think it's because of all the graphics hardware it has to cool. 923 on a single run from reboot refresh on the Razer Blade 15, but it's a Core i7. It's an 8750H part, right? This MacBook Pro has a Core i9 8950HK, which has a base clock of 2.9 gigahertz and a turbo boost clock, if everything's great, of 4.8 gigahertz. It got 9999, slightly faster.
And this we will reiterate. This is after the firmware patch that happened on Tuesday.
Right.
So
So you
this
can
is a patch MacBook. Well, what about the Dell? What about the Dell?
So the Dell, now this tells you how it's all up to the PC vendors to tune. Just like Apple tuned this MacBook Pro 15
Did they tune
out
it?
of the gate. Oh, you're right, they forgot
Oh,
to.
they
They
forgot.
forgot to tune it. But that's cool, there's an error. They fixed it. It's good. XPS 15 Core i7 8750H 1188. 1188
I mean,
versus 999.
That's pretty big.
200 more. I don't know what that means.
More
in Cinebench
numbers are
marks,
better.
but more is
More
better.
numbers are better.
It means it's faster in multi-threading. It means they're pushing those cores to run at higher clocks. It means basically this Dell XPS 15 with the bottom end Coffee Lake H part is faster than this MacBook Pro 15 with the very high end Core i9 CPU.
But it's also faster than the Razer Blade, which has the same exact
Same
CPU.
CPU.
But you're thinking that because of the thermals of the 1070,
Right. It
it
could
has to
be
clock it down a little
Razer
bit?
said we know we have a 1070 in here. It's not exactly a cool GPU. We're going to have to sort of scale things back a little bit. It also could be because Dell likes to swing for the fences on CPU. Dell is one of those companies. There's a couple like that. There's MSI, there's Asus. They generally like to swing for the fences all the time. And we're seeing that in the XPS 15. It just is faster than the same Razer Blade, and it creamed the MacBook Pro 15 with a Core i9 CPU in it. To be fair, we did also run the OpenGL test. Basically, they're all the same. Just goes to show you how weak OpenGL is on the PC at this point.
But a 1070 Max Q is not the same as a Radeon Pro 560X.
No, definitely.
Especially in real world testing. So no matter what, if you're using Premiere, if you're doing video encoding
Yeah.
on the Razer Blade, it's going to kill it. So I think what we do next week maybe, is kind of get all the MacBook killers together and run even more tests and kind of
Right.
lay out the results of that. Because especially, there's so much talk about real world benchmarking.
So
We can put
Premiere,
on our own
everybody wants
Premiere.
to suddenly run Premiere in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. We have plenty of Premiere files to work with, so I think we load up, do a ton of testing on all these.
Sure. We'll run a couple games. We'll run Premiere, maybe run a couple other cross-platform benchmarks, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I suspect MacBook Killer, we already know the answer to it, but we're going to find out. If we're wrong, we're wrong. But I got to say, I think we know where it's headed.
Yeah, cool. All right, stay tuned for that coming up next week. Thanks, Gordon.
Later.